Hello and welcome to episode 6 of this FC Pripyat series mid-season transfer and squad update special. No games today, going to be quite a quick video. There's a fair bit to get through. I have been stung. It's been a steep learning curve for me in terms of I didn't actually realise, this shows my naivety a little bit, but I didn't realise that we had a director of football and other clubs have just been vultures to our squad. So a bit of a new look, so we'll go into that in a second. First of all, let's just look at the signings so far. I've already put in order of who we've signed. We've had a big shift out. We've got rid of a lot of players that weren't ever really going to stick around for long. But let's just talk about quickly who we've... In fact, no, we'll do who's gone first. So one of the biggest ones that I'm gutted about was Rudnitsky, who, as you can see, was pretty much a first teamer for us. And he only went for 11k. I was actually operating with the director of football and didn't realise, and he was basically just saying yes to everything, even though our financial situation wasn't even that bad. Anyway, long story short, I sacked him. So now I'm operating without a director of football completely, and so yeah, so there's... we'll go through the transfers real quick. So yeah, Rudnitsky went. Alexei Schmuck was someone who was never really close to the first team. German Semenyuk, again, he was a right winger. He's gone on loan, actually to the team that knocked us out of the FA Cup, if you like, the Ukrainian FA Cup, Mia Gornostevka. So he's going on there on loan. Oleg Koshka, who was just awful, is also going out on loan as well. Nestorenko, we managed to sell for 10k, or say I didn't manage to sell him at all. It was, again, my director of football. Osadashki, now he was someone that was just constantly moaning that he wasn't getting enough first team football, so he ended up leaving the club as well for 50k. Basically any player that left and was sold by my director of football actually went for less than what their value would indicate, so it's not been great. Medvedev, who was our flailing left back, failing I suppose left back, went to Cobra on a free. Igor Malsh went to Agro Business Fellowship. So I'm actually starting to lose some players around the same place as me in the league. So it's my relegation rivals, if you like. So that'll probably come back to bite me on the arse. But he was never really good enough long term. And because we've given ourselves such a strong chance of staying up now, I just came to the conclusion that this was going to be our only chance, really, of doing a bit of a rebuild while we've got a bit of good form going as well. Sergei Dovbish. I mean, these were hot prospects that just the clubs just came sniffing around. And look, he's already available for loan. They just came sniffing around and just started signing them up for next to nothing. Lysenko was a goalkeeper at the very start of the series. No need for him anymore. Real Farmer took Yarmolenko, who, if you remember, I actually unregistered from the 25 as well, so he was never going to be close. Dmitrio Kolosov, again, got rid of him on a free. He was he was never going to really amount to anything. 26, already quite poor. Never really had a look in. Anton Kisha, now he was one that I wanted to keep hold of. I desperately wanted to keep hold of him. Thought he was a good player. He was... As you can see, most of the time he started on the bench and he came on, and he did not like that. But because we were doing so well, I never really gave him enough consistency as a starter. So I said I'd offer him out to clubs. Dnipro came a knock-in. So that's quite disappointing. But he's gone, so we get on with it. And just today, we have sold Dmitro Ilyin to Dnipro for 200 quid as well. So... one thing I actually forgot to mention is one of the things you should always do when you're one of the lower teams in any league is, or quite far down a few divisions, is get yourself a parent club, if you like, so they can start feeding your players down. So I went to the board and I requested that, and one of the teams they came back with was Shakhtar Donetsk. Now, they are literally the best team in Ukrainian football, so I wasn't going to go to anybody else. It made no sense. They're going to pay me an annual fee of about $8,000. and I get to try and loan out some of their players. So we did. But before we get to that, we'll talk about we'll work from who I signed first upwards. So we'll start from here. Oleg Syniogub, I don't think you've seen him, or you may have already seen him. I think we signed him a little while ago, and he's just joined us now. In fact, yeah, a lot of these signings were made some time ago, and now because the transfer window's opened, they've actually joined the team. Now, the transfer window in the Ukrainian second division, or it might be across the entire Ukrainian football league, it probably is that it actually goes from January 1st to March 1st, or March 2nd. No, March 1st, yeah. So you actually get 2 full months of a transfer window. All the players are still on holiday at the moment. I think they're just starting to come back. So yeah, he's going to be our left back, much better than Medvedev, who obviously we got rid of to Cobra. Eugene Daynenko is someone I've already shown you, but we'll have a quick recap. Since I've actually signed him, he started to deteriorate already in stats and probably in ailment and bodily form as well, probably from the radiation. But he's still better than what we had. His stats are still a bit more solid, so he'll still start for us. Sergei Semenyuk, again, another left back. He was signed purely as I don't like having just one player for every position. So between him and Oleg here, they're going to be vying for that left back spot as well. And now this chap, Anatoly Matveev, is just someone that I bought in because essentially there was teams like Cobra, Agrobusiness, a couple of others in and around where I am in the league. Some of my relegation rivals were trying to get this guy on loan, and because I had the affiliation with Shakhtar, I thought I'll just get him instead, because then that way he's not going to be used against me, so he can't score against me if he plays for me. So that one was probably a bit more selfish because he doesn't actually fit into any of the systems. I mean, he could technically play a little bit further up, and if worse comes to worse, he might just be the advanced playmaker in my 4-1-4-1, but very much a fringe player, if you like. And finally, Vadim Vitenchuk from FK Alexandria, who are actually in the Premier League. We managed to sign him for 29k, transfer listed, not getting enough first team football. Again, because at the moment I don't have any other defensive midfielders apart from what's his name? Where is he? Where is the little sausage? Drishluk, who always keeps getting sent off. I would be without anyone to take that place. So he's very much a backup player. He can play as a defensive midfielder, not really as a half-back in the position, but I'll probably still play him as that anyway because I don't want to upset the formation too much, but they are hard to come by. And I have had to not re-sign, that's the wrong word to use. I've had to offer contracts very quickly to a lot of my team because all of them were only in 1-year contracts. So as soon as 6 months came by, other teams could start offering them pre-contracts that would kick in at the end of the season. And there's one in particular that my director of football let slip through the net. And at the end of the season, we are going to have to say goodbye to Vladislav Martinyuk. He's going to Obolon Brewer for nothing. He's 17. They signed him on a pre-contract. He accepted it. I tried to keep him at the very last moment. Signed him a new contract. He was like, "I'm not interested. You guys aren't going to stay up, or if you are, you can't guarantee it. So I'm going to go to Obolon Brewer." So I'm gutted. I'm absolutely gutted. So I am in the market for another striker, but because we have got Vedanachev on loan as well, I'm not pushing for that too much yet. But that could be a problem. But then again, I think in the last episode we had a man sent off and still scored without a recognised striker on the pitch. So maybe it's not the worst thing in the world. But Askinanov is still our is now officially our main man. He's better in over the last games anyway and stuff. So it softens the blow a little bit. But I'm not going to forget what this lad did for us when we were up against it completely. He was the person who kept us in these games when all hope had failed elsewhere. He was the one who dragged us up by our bootstraps and kept us in with a shout. So this is the new look squad. whilst I've got you here, I might as well start work. I'll show you the tactics real quick. What I'll do is I'll quick pick, which gives us something, which gives us quite a good idea of who's going to play. Now, one other thing, Berezovsky is still coming on leaps and bounds. He's now probably our best centre back. He's just had his 18th birthday last month. Well, at the end of January at least. So yeah, he's going to keep on getting better. And believe it or not, obviously they were sniffing around him as well. So I managed to tie his contract up to 2021. Still at £25 a week as well. So the other good thing, one person as well that you may see is missing was my assistant manager, who was on £625 a week, but also played as he was 39 and he also played as a centre back and a defensive mid. His stats just dropped dramatically, and I got rid of him. Managed to release him. So it actually has, if you look here, our transfer budget isn't a lot. Our wage budget is still roughly the same, but our current spending has dropped by about roughly about £1,000 a week. So I'm really happy with that, because I think that gives us a bit more flexibility. Plus, we've had actually quite a lot of good youth players come into the squad, so I'm not actually too disheartened by the lack of transfer activity bringing into the squad, because we've got some good people that can come up and stake a claim for the first team as well. So more importantly in the under-21, so Bitsko, we know this lad Mikhailo Pritiskovsky, he's coming on leaps and bounds. He's all green arrows. He's going up. His potential's good. He could be probably half a season away from starting as right back. And Bondarenko as well is coming on as well, but he's a little bit off the pace compared. But no, there's some good, generally there's some good players here. Another one that we've had to say goodbye to, who is leaving at the end of the season, is Alexei Polishuk. Now, this guy looks fantastic. He's got such good potential. I'm absolutely gutted to be losing him, but again, our director of football completely shot us in the foot, and he's joining Volin, so I can't really blame him, to be honest. He's going for the good of his career, but to be honest, I don't know if you can bring up someone's fitness history. Oh, you can. Look, he was out for pretty much the majority of the season anyway so far, so I don't really know what I'm going to be missing. What was it? I think one appearance. In fact, it was the first episode. I remember now. The first episode he started for us, and then he got knackered. So we haven't really seen the best of him for the club. We're also saying goodbye to Lysenko, who, I'll be honest, I haven't actually played in a competitive match. He's never really going to amount to much, I don't think. He's probably proved me wrong, but he's moving to try and pronounce this name now. He's moving to Balmazujvarosport. I think they're Belarusian. As well. So trying to get rid of a couple of other players as well who are nowhere near ever playing to our standard, but we'll probably try and get rid of them at the end of the season. So the board are still happy. Look, that was the senior affiliate. We managed to get Shakhtar on board. Really happy with that. They don't like the idea that we signed Eugene Dayneko, because of probably his age and stuff, but I was so bereft of decent goalkeepers that I had no other choice, really. Meerkat at the moment is wanted, and I've tried to offer him a new contract, and he doesn't want to come yet because he's waiting on the club to secure safety in the league before committing to a new deal, which I can understand, but it's not like he's unhappy. So, swings and roundabouts. I think that pretty much covers it. Schedule-wise, I'm trying to think if we covered off these games. I don't think we did, so just to kind of give you a recap before the transfer window came into place. Obolon Brewer we beat 2-1. I think we covered that one off. Avangard Kramatorsk, that was first place. They were obviously tough team away from home to play, but we gave a good account of ourselves. And Metalist, who, if you remember, we actually lost 3-1 to at home earlier on in the season. We've actually come back and beat them. And Aksinov again got a hat-trick, the first hat-trick to be registered by a player in this team. So he's so close to becoming a Hall of Famer, and it's been half a season. And I've just had to arrange some extra friendlies within this downtime. I might do a couple more before the start of the season just to try and keep the fitness levels up a little bit. So we've got 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9 games remaining. We're 11th in the league now, so we're looking strong because there's actually a 4-point gap here now. Obviously a couple of bad results here and there could result in us obviously getting dragged back into that. But at the moment, I'm cautiously optimistic that we are going to stay up, and then with the new acquisitions that we've got, I'm feeling confident that we're going to be able to kick on and hopefully maybe the second season push for a top half finish, maybe start to flirt with top 3. I don't know if that's going to be seriously achievable, but I think we can start rubbing shoulders with some of these better players. It's going to be gutting to come up against Obolon Brewer next season if they don't go up, because they'll have Martin Yuck in their ranks as well. But I think that's pretty much it for the time being. We'll have a quick one good thing to really check before I leave you guys is how all the players have been forming using these key metrics here. So first of all, Aksionov, as you would expect, 0.79 goals every 90 minutes, 0.64 to Martin Yuck, and after that it's pretty much slim pickings. Assists wise, the mantle goes to Bitsko, who it's only because he's played less games, I think. Actually, the weird thing is he's got assists 0.46 per 90 and actually doesn't register any assists here. So it takes non-competitive games into consideration as well, which is a bit misleading, but you can't really do much else about that. Chance created per 90, Mashnin, who is actually, remember, someone that we signed on a free from he was completely free. He wasn't like he was signed on a contract to join us. He's actually making that left wing position his own at the moment. Aksionov, as well as assisting, is creating chances as well. Our right back Kurchik is doing well for us. Now he's still on a very high wage budget, salary at the moment, but we'll try and address that when we can. But it's not really the biggest of deals. Key passes per 90, Bitsko, Mashnin, Kachekov, all contributing and doing bits. So that's it really. I think if we have a quick look at our overall stats, appearance wise, Grebnyuk, that's going to start to, that'll probably just stay at 21 now unless my other keeper gets injured or is even worse. Meerkat is obviously someone who pretty much plays every game. Dershlik as well when he's not getting sent off as well. So yeah, goals wise, Aksionov with 10, 7, 3, 2, 1. Assists, Kurchik is doing bits from fullback position, and Aksionov is probably assisting himself. And Meerkat's doing a little bit as well. So that's it for the time being. Thanks for tuning to the transfer. And kind of not halfway, but a little bit further along. But it seemed like a good place to stop and kind of assess how the season's gone so far. For me personally, I think I couldn't be more pleased now that we've managed to find a formation that works for us. The upturn in form, we've started rubbing shoulders and competing against the better clubs in this division, which gives me hope that we are making progress and we are pushing in the right direction. So we'll leave it there for now. We'll catch you in the next one, whereby we'll go a little bit further ahead into the season. I'll show you a few of the crunch games, and hopefully we'll build up to a good finish, whereby maybe we're not even talking about relegation prospects, and we can actually start re-signing a couple of the players that are waiting for that to happen as well. But until then, I'll see you in the next one.